Oh, 5x5. Yo, throw me a 5x5. We will get rolling. Good evening, by the way. A little later than normal, but there's really no set time for these. They're life dependent. And also it kind of gives it gives different people a chance, you know what I mean? Because everybody, they have work schedules and stuff. And if we do it at the same time every single day, it kind of excludes a lot of people. So it's cool that we mix it up a little bit. Thank y'all for the 5x5s. I saw the poll right before I went live and totally agree. What's going on, Slee Stack? How are you doing? Let me see here. What we're gonna get into that. As a matter of fact, Minute Man, I'm going to officially debunk the official story. It's gonna take me about 30 seconds to do that. We'll do that a little bit later on, though. Heathen, how you doing? And everybody else, thank you very much for being here and for the support outside of YouTube. This, of course, replays over on the bunker, and the reason it replays over there, two reasons. Number one, I don't want to lose the conversations that we have, and it's a lot safer place because it's a smaller channel. And number two, it's kind of a bonus for being subscribed to the backup channel. A lot of people just don't take the time to do it. Um, and FJB, yes, the prepping artist. How are you doing? So I didn't realize y'all had a video. Kelly Rambo, I didn't realize y'all done a video on this because I also did not get a notification. I saw people in there earlier saying they didn't get a notification. Hot Preps, how are you doing? See, this is what I'm talking about. We've got a few new faces in here this evening because we're not doing it earlier morning. So I do like mixing it up a little bit. Redfish Tex, how are you doing? Of course. There he is. How is everybody? Teresa, how are you doing? Everybody. What's up? Big old love fest, son. Coffee first, then speak. Um, what would you do if you got an off to do a prepping show? I have no idea. I've kicked around a couple of ideas. So we're into hockey and probably 30 minutes away. If anybody's familiar with Whitfield, Virginia, they just started a hockey team this year. And I thought about because they were hiring two people to do the games, the commentary on the games for their YouTube channel. I thought about that. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. I may try out for it sometime. I suspect they would take one look at the YouTube channel and be like, "Nah, man, this dude's crazy. We ain't hiring him." But it wouldn't be for the money or anything. It's more of I just enjoy hockey. My family would get free tickets and stuff like that. But anyway, are y'all a good news first or bad news first type of person? Everybody's different on that. Oh, usual suspects plus. Exactly. These are all of the folks, everybody that supports outside of YouTube, whether it's on Patreon, the bunker, or over on the coffee club. Everybody gets a link to this on Friday. Um, yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're not new to the channel, but I'm saying you hardly ever, a lot of people hardly ever get to jump on the live streams because of the time difference and work schedules and stuff. Mother of Cajuns, how are you doing? The bad first. I'm a bad news type of person first as well. Um, yeah, there's some fighting that takes place there, Heathen. That's part of the attraction. Chris Marie, how are you doing? Um, the whole day has been bad, so why not more? Well, Dynamite, I'm bringing good news as well. At least I think it's good news, but I don't know. We'll see. Sorry that you have a crummy day, though, man. So the bad news first. I believe that we are going to discontinue Shotgun Saturday night. Couple of reasons. Number one, I don't like the idea. I haven't liked the idea since we stopped doing the live streams on Saturday, right? But there's so many people that stream on Saturday nights, it just doesn't make sense. And we've been showing the replay over there. I don't really like showing a replay a day or two later, believe it or not. Uh, I've just never been a fan of it. We're still going to do the streams like we're doing right now, but they're going to replay immediately following in the bunker. So that is the bad news. I don't think there will be any more shotgun Saturday nights. Maybe on occasion, if absolutely nothing's going on and I'm here at home for the evening, we'll do a live stream or something. But on to the good news. Yes, that is also good news, Minute Man, for sure. Because I want to drop new content on Saturday. So rather than have a video replay tomorrow because it's Saturday, I would like to get some new content out. Probably going to drop in the morning, starting tomorrow morning, every Saturday moving forward. So it's more fresh content. If people are into the replays, they can check those out at the bunker. For me, it's a win win, to be honest with you. I have not seen anything today. Hot preps on Venezuela, I would have to look into that. Again, went through the ammo cans. We did go out and do just a little bit of shopping. We didn't have to do much. Um, yeah, that's the thing. There's so many bigger channels. Not that we're a big channel. That's another problem, right? But there's so many bigger channels that are live streaming on Saturday. Um, I'm sorry. You can watch the replay of that as well. But, I just wanna do extra content, but I want it to be fresh and not a rerun on the main channel. So, we really weren't short on anything, but I got a question for y'all. Somebody in here is bound to know because I actually don't know. I checked for a date on it and I couldn't find them. I guess I went through a phase at some point where Imma go ahead and call it for what it is, hoarding, um, the fire starting logs, like the Duraflame logs. And I came across an ammo case of these that have been in there for a while, several years. Do these things ever expire? Will they still work, or am I just hoarding them at this point for no reason? Do I need to toss them, or will they still work? Beretta Vandy, how are you doing? Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, people are busy on Saturdays. I do too, but I can't always do lives on Saturday. As a matter of fact, usually I can't. Um, I mean, I guess, dumb secret, if the power goes out, but I think it's gonna be a complete miss. Black Cat said, "Yes, they do." Okay, I'll hang on to them then. They should still work. The zombies were out in the grocery stores as predicted. I wasn't going around checking their baskets or anything, or their buggies, as we call them. I'm sure bread, milk, and eggs would, yeah, I was thinking so, but I wasn't sure, to be honest with you. These things are pre-pandemic, at least. So, yeah, cheers to my hoarding phase on those. We don't need any of those for a while. But, I mean, food-wise, we were good. Um, hot hands, we still have some. We didn't have as many as I thought, but then I remembered we used them for parades and things when winter started. Um They might be live sometimes, GMA Nana. They may be live some Saturday mornings. Some Saturday mornings, it may just be oh gosh, what are they called? Premiere. But yeah, it'll be one or the other, and it'll be something people haven't seen yet, right? So let's get into Heartbreak Ridge real quick, and then we'll tackle the aliens. Right? What a topic that one is. Heartbreak Ridge. Did anybody watch the movie along with me? I know plenty of people have seen it in here, right? Thank you, Coffee First Then Speak. I guess I could have Googled it. I just figured I'd ask people in here because somebody's bound to run into it at some point, right? Heartbreak Ridge, and I blame Dynamite for this, straight up, brother. Heartbreak Ridge reminded me a lot of the Dirty Dozen movies, and I think it's because I just watched all 3 of the Dirty Dozen this week. Um, I'm not gonna say it's my favorite Eastwood movie, Teresa, but it was good. I really enjoyed it. Especially the Marines need a few good men, and you ain't it. And the Swede, yeah. Um, there was a little too much cheese in the movie for me, a little too much predictability. I did prefer The Dirty Dozen over this movie, but it was still a solid movie. The military scene toward the end when they were in Grenada, It just wasn't as good as most of the military movies I watch. But, again, I understand why, because it's a comedy when you get right down to it. Um, but, yeah, we'll do Zombieland this week, so everybody has plenty of time. Language warning on that one as well, because anytime I don't say language warning, people leave nasty comments. "John, why would you send us to this movie?" So, if you're bothered by language, I haven't seen Zombieland in a few years, so I don't remember how bad it is, but there was some in this movie too. Um, but yeah, at some point this week, I'll rewatch it. I do like it. Was it was it Twinkies or something? I know it was a Hostess. I think it was Twinkies, right, that he's looking for. But Eastwood did really good in this movie. It's just some of the other actors that were in this movie were not incredible actors, if I'm being honest. Some of them were great. Some of them were kind of B movie at its finest. Twinkies, there we go. So I do remember that much at least. But let's get into what's going on in Florida. Have y'all seen the video footage? It's over on Twitter. You can put in you type in the search bar or X, whatever it is, right? You can type in Florida aliens and it'll start bringing up video footage, drone footage and stuff. So, if you haven't seen it, there are literally hundreds of police cars lined up on this main strip. I don't know the road name or anything. The official cover story coming out of Florida, the official, story in mainstream media is that there were 2 groups, large groups of teenagers fighting, okay? Because some of the video, you can see teenagers and people running all over the place. Okay, yeah, the mass of cops was crazy. It was unlike anything I've ever seen, to be honest with you, and that's the official cover story. 2 groups of teenagers, large rowdy groups throwing down. Now, let me debunk this in about 30 seconds flat. All right, because we've seen that before many, many times. We've seen the way Tifa operates. We've seen groups who riot and who peacefully protest and stuff like this. What's going on, Backwoods? Um, the mall was over 50 teens destroying stuff and jumping on and beating up people. There were fireworks that were mistaken for shots. Let me try and debunk that in about 30 seconds. Okay, here we go. Where's the footage online? Because as we know, teenagers, when they do crap like this, they live stream it. They go to social media with the footage. They put in their little cash apps and things like this. Where's the footage? There's absolutely no footage that I've seen that was shot by teenagers. The only footage being released, and I think it plays into actually what Backwoods was talking about a couple of days ago. The only footage I've seen is the drone footage itself. I mean, you can see people in the drone footage, but I've also seen in the drone footage, there's like a 5 or 6-second spot where it appears like something is close. They estimate this thing is 10 feet tall, moving alongside a building. It looks real enough. All right. But I don't think it's real either. And getting back into Backwoods conversation, I believe this is playing into AI. And this may seem like a one-off event, nothing to worry about. Again, maybe it was teenagers and they just didn't live stream it or whatever the case may be. But if this is AI, all right, they're trying to normalize something bigger that's coming. Okay. Again, I don't think that this was an actual alien, a 10-foot tall alien or whatever. This could have been just teens being rowdy. But the way it was being spun online, the way it was being spun through mainstream media, it really does I'm sure they were doing that as well. It really does seem like, because what you're saying there, I agree with that. If you've seen it, I believe you, brother, but it still doesn't explain the footage of something 10 foot tall, and it doesn't explain 100 plus cop cars because they never respond with this kind of force. You know what I mean? They would line up and block streets off. "Oh, let them. They're just kids, they're liberals or whatever." But with AI, to Backwood's point the other morning, with AI, it's getting to the point now where we can't even believe what we see. because this could have been an AI doctored video 100%. And it's going to be used on us moving forward via propaganda. Anything they want us to believe now, I think they have the ability to use AI to do this moving forward. And if let me just say, let me put it like this: if we continue to see stories, alien sighting here, that much of a police presence and stuff like this, mainstream media picking it up because they usually just ignore the stuff. Kneel to no one. How are you doing? Then at that point, I believe they're setting us up for something that is more widespread. Like they're going to introduce the idea of these things being real and showing up, maybe. Not trying to float a conspiracy theory, but this is how mainstream works, right? Mainstream media kind of sets the table before the elites sit down and eat and spit out their official story. And if we continue to see stuff like this, I believe they're setting the table up because they're going to introduce it. Now, do I think that they're really going to be aliens from outer space? No, no. But we know that it's a card they will eventually play. Don't know if it'll be this year or not, but AI really, really uh, is a problem moving forward because, again, to Backwood's point, why even vote anymore? You don't need to vote. AI can already sense based on your online activity who you would vote for. Like, don't waste time on it or anything like that. But you can scare the population with videos that aren't even real when you get right down to it. Could have been that. Could have been a distraction. It could have been, look, I don't know this. I'm just going to float this out there as well. Could have been two groups of teenagers fighting, like Backwoods said. They could have responded with hundreds of police cars just to hit mainstream media in order to be a distraction from the Gilligan's Island list, as he so affectionately put it the other morning. It could be that it's just a huge distraction, that they've made it blown it up into something that it really wasn't a huge deal. Um, but if it was just just teenagers beating people up, right, in mass, as a prepper, I'm stepping back and I'm like, well, this is yet another reason to be armed at all times if you're not already doing it. So take heed and take warning from that. Even if you don't think AI had anything to do with this, even if you don't buy into the fact that they're going to try and spin aliens at some point, be strapped. Be strapped up, right? At the very least. Um when space aliens show up, it will be impressive with city-sized saucers. Who knows? I have no idea what they have planned for us, but they do have a plan for us, to keep control, maintain control. Ed Benoit, and he works for the Russians. Okay, that's another conversation altogether. Um, hey, AI, did you predict this coming? I was just telling my wife and kids earlier, I saw where Windows, beginning this year, everybody has a Windows key on their laptop or their computer or whatever. They're replacing that. What did they call this? The AI Copilot. They're switching the key out to an AI Copilot to where you can just hit that and basically AI takes over for you if you need help on the computer. So this thing is, we knew AI was coming. We knew it was going to be bad, but this thing is like out of control so fast that it's not even funny. Uh, I mean, it's just I think by the end of this year, we're gonna be so far under the influence of AI. I mean, people aren't even gonna know it anymore or even question it. Oh, no. I would look like a young Patrick Swayze or something if I was using AI over here. Well, we already have the one kind, and, Dynamite, those are real. Those are real. I'm not disputing those whatsoever. Um, but I mean, seriously, we so most of us don't live on the border and we don't see what's going on, right? If people post videos online and say, hey, some of our congressmen and stuff have done this recently and congresswomen, they'll post videos from, let's say, Texas, and they'll say, "Look at these hundreds of people coming across." Those videos, by the end of this year, if not already, the snap of just like snapping your fingers, these things can be run through AI and doctored into looking like 10 people or something. You know what I mean? Like, not a big deal, and just keep people asleep unless they're seeing it with their own eyes. Um, we're moving into that kind of a world where if you don't see it with your own eyes and you can't reach out and actually touch it, can you trust it? Do you trust it? Because I don't think I will. Um, I saw the actual ground footage of at least 50 teens. Okay, the police were told it was multiple. Okay, well, that makes a little more sense that they were responding in mass like that. Because I was sitting here thinking 50 teens, 100 plus police cars doesn't make sense. But if that was the case, excuse me, if that was the case, especially after the event that just happened, that would make more sense. I still wanna know about that 5 or 6 seconds of footage, and I can send it to you if you haven't seen it, brother, of this thing that I don't know what it is. I think it's AI personally. I don't think it's an alien or anything like that. Um, yeah, and this plays into the point Backwoods was making. Now I don't know about the UK's law or anything. I'm gonna pretend to know about that. But he was making the point the other morning that when you try and get the message out or you try and research, you try and do stuff on social media, they're trying to lock it down because AI is taking over and they don't want AI harvesting. Let's say Funky Prepper has a pretty decent sized crowd. If he researches something and he gets to the truth or as close to the truth as he can and he puts it out there, a lot of people are going to consume that message. They're going to consume that information. They don't want this because AI is going to attach to that and they're going to factor AI will factor that in as it's telling the official narrative. So they are shutting a lot of, as Backwoods was saying, I can't take credit for it. They're shutting a lot of doors to where AI can only pull from certain places. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, that's my thoughts on it as well, that it's doctored AI. But to that point, Bear Trap, how are you doing? It's scary because it looked real. It's AI doctored footage maybe, and I believe that it is. But what else are we gonna see that's AI doctored and we're not gonna know one way or the other, you know what I mean? Especially leading up to, let's say, November. Why did people say there were 8 to 10-foot giants and people in the mall were shooting? Um, so according to what I've seen here tonight, fireworks were going off. They were thought to be shots, and so the police responded in force. There is a very short video, Kelly and Rambo, of what appears to be some sort of a 10-foot creature, roughly 10 feet tall. But again, I think it's AI. Backwoods is we agree on this, Backwoods. It's freaking AI. If he was here, he'd be pissed right now. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, a lot of ads on YouTube with YouTube celebrities or AI. Moving forward, I mean, we're gonna begin to see movies that are created with AI. We're gonna be reading books, TV shows, AI, music, AI. News is already being curated on some of the websites by AI, and it's just pulling from different places online. That's where it gets its information. Reaches all through the cloud or whatever they call it, then it creates the article and then it gives it to the people. And we're not getting the full story if certain websites are blocked off. It ain't pulling. I would think it's probably not pulling from our buddy Jones's website, old Alex over there. It's probably not pulling from his website. They are trying to get X removed or Twitter because there's a lot of free speech over there. Eventually, they'll come after Rumble and BitChute and stuff like this as well. Um, An Amish family in Pennsylvania was searched by police today. Doug and Stacy spoke about it earlier. Local reporter wasn't allowed in. Um, Maybe they may have just not want to been on camera. I don't know. I haven't seen the video. But a lot of times they don't want to be on camera. Sleaze act. Skynet, essentially, yeah, Skynet. I'm not saying we're gonna have Terminators, robots running around anytime soon, but we're gonna have AI programmed zombies walking around in skinny jeans and flip flops, and they're not gonna even know what's going on in their own country anymore. Um, yes, Outlaw Farms, watch your six. Watch your six. Um, have any of you seen the conversations with AI saying they used to be real people with memories of their families? No, and that's a scary thought. I mean, that's a scary thought straight up. Check your phone. It is getting personal voice records from you so it can take calls for you. No, I'm good. I don't think I'm gonna be doing that. I don't think I'm gonna allow it to do that if I can help it. Mine stays in a Faraday bag about half the time anyway, if not more than that. Um, I have seen that, but I think for them to mass produce that, you know what I mean? That's a prototype from what I saw. For them to mass produce that, we're still a few years away, I think, but that's where we're headed. And people, it's not funny, but people are just like, well, I still write checks and I'm only using cash and I never use debit cards. Look, we're moving into a future where they're setting up robot dogs, and full on AI. They're not going to let people pay with cash for much longer, and certainly not written checks for much longer. They're going to phase that stuff out. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. Maybe that's what those robocalls are all about, the ones where no one is on the other end. Eh, could be. Could possibly be. I know sometimes it takes a few seconds before they jump on the line and they ask you about your extended car warranty and stuff. It could just be like a queue where it's the computer takes a second for somebody to answer the phone. I don't know. I really don't, but it could be where people are saying hello, hello, but everything's monitored. We already know this. If you're using a smartphone, it's already gathering and collecting. That's not going away. You know, people use flip phones and burner phones, but again, that's a short-term fix. They're not going to allow that stuff for very much longer. By 2030, folks, credit and debit cards, uh, I mean, they're by 2030, we're going to be all digital. You know what I'm saying? No more flip burner phones, no more paper checks, probably no more paper cash, nothing like that. Um, and if some of the people running for president have their way, and I'm looking at Nikki Haley, we're all going to have to verify who we are every single time we get online. And you know, we would almost be better off. Cheesy movie, but all it's got Emilio Estevez in it, I believe. But also a fun movie to watch if you've never seen it. We'd almost be better off, because the cell phone zombies, they would just be walking around in the streets. It people would be the lower hanging fruit would be eliminated pretty quickly, and the rest of us would be fighting the big trucks with, what was it, a clown or a joker on the front? Thumbprints, eye scans, facial recognition. Yep, all of that stuff already exists. They've just got to get it from, okay, it exists, to we need to incorporate it into every single thing that we have and mass produce it. We need it in all of the phones, all of the computers, the refrigerators, everything. We need this in everything. Once they do that, we're beat. We're bent over the barrel at that point. Yeah. Um, well, I'm glad you dug around on it, honestly, because again, Twitter, there's a lot of free speech over there, but I can't trust any of the videos I see anymore. You know what I mean? They're, what do they call them? Deep fakes or something. There's so much AI and so many deep fakes now. You really don't know what you're looking at. And of course, people are always arguing back and forth on there. So it's kind of up in the air anytime you've seen anything. Green Goblin truck. Okay, maybe it was a Green Goblin. I ain't seen that movie in a long time. Talking about a VHS tape to get right there. Yeah, deep fakes. There we go. Thank you very much. But interesting conversation. Thank y'all very much for the support. Outside of the normal YouTube, again, there will be a video or something dropping in the morning on the main channel. And this will be replaying shortly here on the bunker. Y'all take care. God bless.